So today we're going to look at our making solutions activity. This is something that you would normally do in the classroom. It's actually one of the more important demos and activities that we do this year because the concept that we get from this activity, I have seen it appear time and time and time again on that exam in May. So ultimately, we need to make sure we understand this concept. So I'm going to pull my hair back and put on my safety goggles. All right. So our directions tell us to add 3.42 grams. Now the reality is I'm going to get as close to 3.42 as I can. All right, but I did not get exactly 3.42. So I need to record the mass that I actually have right here. I'm as close to 3.42 as possible. All right, let's see if I can get this in here. So I was at 3.43, which is pretty close, so that's good. I'm good to go there, okay? So that's the mass that I need to tighten my goggles. They're sliding on my head. Okay, so that's the mass that we record. We don't just record whatever mass we were told to get because I didn't actually get that exact mass. So we put down what we got. Okay, then it tells us to put this in approximately 75 milliliters of water. So here's my graduated cylinder. It's a 100 ml graduated cylinder. This is an approximate. We are simply needing to dissolve. So I'm going to go approximate. All right, so I'm at approximately 75 milliliters. Now I don't have to measure this out with my eyes because I'm going to add more water. All right, so here we go. Here's my water. And I'm going to put my unknown substance. And I'm going to stir. Then it says to pour this into a 100 milliliter volumetric flask. Okay, so let me just stir until this all gets dissolved in there. So here's my 100 ml volumetric flask. I'm going to pour my substance in. Now, here's where students make an error. I'm going to add water up to the 100 ml mark. So I have a squirt bottle and I'm just going to start adding some water, but you know, I can probably pour a little. You got to be careful with these volumetric flasks because that volume will shoot up real quick. Okay, so I'm close to the 100 ml mark. I'm going to add water up to that mark. Now, notice I put this down on the ground and I brought my eye level to it, okay? I don't want to be putting water in here up to when I'm trying to get it right at the 100 mil mark, because, so I'm moving around, so I need to put it on a solid surface, bring my eye down level to the meniscus. Cap and invert. Cap, invert. All right. Now, do I have any idea exactly how much water I put in here? Did I put in 100 mils? I do not know because I didn't measure. I put approximately 75, and then I added up to the 100 mil mark. That is a catastrophic error students make. We have no way of knowing if there is exactly 100 milliliters of water in here. We don't know because volumes are not always additive. Okay, so I don't know how much water's in here. I know my solution is 100 mils. But how much of that is water? Don't know. I added up to the 100 mil mark. Now I'm just going to pour this back in A. So for part B, it says to put 0.342 grams. So here we go. Let's do 0.342. I went way over. Still way over. Okay, so this is good as it gets. Now, I don't have a balance that goes out to 0.342. I have our Cincy balance, not a milli, so we're going to record 0.39 here. Okay, that's okay. Just record the 0.39. All right. So notice I wasn't at 0.3. I was slightly over. Now, again, step one, add approximately 75 mils of water. Let's stir. All right. Again, I put this in my volumetric flask, and I'm going to now add water up to the 100 mil mark. I don't know exactly how much water I'm adding total because I haven't really measured it. I'm just adding more water at this point, but we're going up to the 100 mil mark. Final step, cap and invert. All right, so for our part C and D, it tells us to measure out 10 milliliters of solution A. So at this point, I have my pipette, all right, and I'm going to pull out 10 mils of solution A. I'm going to put it in my volumetric flask. So now what I'm doing here is called a dilution. I'm taking a substance and I am diluting it. All right, so I'm going to add approximately some water here because we want to dilute it up to the 100 ml mark. So at this point, all I'm doing is I'm just adding water up to the 100 ml mark. Final step, cap, and invert. Once again, volumes are not always additive. So I have 100 mils of solution. How much of it is water? Don't know. This is C. Now what we're going to do is we are going to do the exact same thing with our B that we made. So I'm going to take 10 mils of B. I'm going to put it into my volumetric flask. We're going to add water, same concept. Final step, cap, invert. All right, and so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to line these up for you to look at the different color variation. All right, so we're going to actually, you're going to go back to your lab, you're going to calculate. But I'd like for you to take some time to look at all right, so now we're going to head over and we're going to do the calculations on this activity. All right, be careful, friends. Pay attention. All right, and don't forget sig figs.